Hi, everybody. This is TNT. I'm Tommy.
And I'm Nick, and Trot is actually not here with us today due to some previous engagements. So every now and then this might happen, and when it does, me and Tommy are going to be doing some one-off episodes or a continuation of an episode, even answering some questions from some viewers, or even going over some comments.
Yeah. So today we are going to go over genres of anime.
Yes.
And today we're going to start off with, I would say, probably the most common genre in anime right now. It's called the isekai.
I wouldn't say most common, but it's the biggest one that's been going on for a few years, at least in my opinion. Let me rephrase that, actually. The most mainstream. So, if you don't know what it is, a isekai is basically the main character has been reincarnated, has been transported to a whole new world. Some of the most notable ones are going to be like Overlord, the time I was reincarnated as a slime, Rise of the Shield Hero.
SAO.
SAO is more going to be a soft isekai just because they get trapped in the game.
Yeah, so their mind's technically in it. Their body is still in the real world.
Yes.
But,
like I said, so that's I would call that, like I said, a soft isekai.
Digimon.
Yes.
Now, Digimon, if you watched it as a kid, you'll understand.
Is an older one, yes. They've actually been remaking season 1 with a few movies. They're actually coming out with, I think it's a movie a new series of season 2. Right now, I think there's like 6 or 7 of them. I stopped watching a little bit after the start of season 5. So
then we got reincarnated in another world with my smartphone.
Yes.
So basically, if you get killed and you're reincarnated, you're transported, you're teleported, or you just wake up in a new dimension, you're an isekai.
For the most part, that's a broad spectrum description of it.
Isekai itself stands for, in Japanese, isekai is translated to different world or other world. So that's where you get it from.
But
it includes novels, light novels, films, manga, anime, and video games that revolve around a person or people who are transported and have to survive in another world, such as fantasy worlds, etc., etc.
Yeah, so like I said, some of the newest ones that a lot of people are hitting up are Overlord, where the main character gets transported. He's playing a video game, and then the DMs, the game masters and everything like that, are closing the game. Been running for like 7 years or something. And he's the last of his guild. He's in his guild hall, just waiting for it to finally be over. And at the end of the countdown, instead of, be forcefully rejected from this game, he wakes up. Well, not wakes up, but he opens his eyes because he had closed them at the 0 mark, being in a whole brand new world with his guild hall. All the NPCs are full living beings. It is really good.
And he can tinker in the game mechanics.
So basically what it is he still has his ability for magic.
Yeah.
And with that, he has all of his abilities from the game. Being a level 100 player whose class is a Overlord, which is a subclass of Lynch, basically Living Dead.
Yeah, he's got a big skull, a scepter.
Well,
the good stuff.
He doesn't have a big skull. That's all headgear.
It's not a big skull. It's just a skull.
Yeah, it's just he looks so much bigger because of his flowing clothes, since he is a mage.
Mm-hmm.
He is a caster. If you see him in the end of season 2 or 3, I can't fully remember. It's been a minute since I watched them. Watched all the way through.
I haven't seen it all yet because I'm a slacker.
Yeah.
But I need to.
Basically, what had happened was, excuse me, he actually set it up to be revealed to the world and everything, and it's really good. like I said, I still have to catch up on season 4. I've only seen about 2 or 3 episodes so far. I believe there's like 6 or 7 out right now, so I am behind.
And we got another one. This one's called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which I just recently finished.
Yes, it is really good.
It is very good.
We have
I am a hypocrite because I talked bad about it for a while because I actually watched it. I'm like, really? It's a slime. What's so good a slime? And I was mistaken.
yes, it is really good. We have talked about it previously.
And it is one where he doesn't get hit by a bus to die. He
No,
gets
stabbed. Yes.
I was stabbed to death. I reincarnated as a slime.
There's another one that's on Crunchyroll. It's what is it? She gets a second chance and being reincarnated, and she was granted one ability. I think it was to live forever or something like that. I can't remember. It was something like I spent 100 years killing slimes to max out or something like that.
I've seen something like that. Let me see.
Yeah,
It's been 100 years killing slime. Just saying.
something like that. Yeah, I know slime is in the title. I can't fully remember. But what it is like I said, this girl gets reincarnated.
I've
And
been killing slimes 300 years and it backs out my level.
yes,
That is an anime title.
yes.
Oh my god.
It is actually really good because she gets a unique ability of longevity. That is my neighbor in the background, everybody. He is working on his house, so that is why you're hearing us all in the background.
It'll be fine.
Yes. But so it starts off with like the first episode or so of her just killing slimes. That's all she ever did was kill slimes, and in doing so, she actually had maxed out her level.
And then she went to the next round, didn't she?
I can't remember. It's been minutes since I've watched it. There's only like one season, and it's
I don't think I watched it, but I think I've seen something like that where she maxed out her level and then she goes to the next stage where she's supposed to, and the boss is like, "No, it's different anime. That's something different."
yeah, that's gonna be something different. But it is really good. There is another one. What is it? I want to say it's just on. It's not just on Hulu, but it's on Hulu is where I saw it. It's another slime one. Something like Slime Tamer.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
In it, if I remember correctly, it's been a minute since I've watched it. This gentleman basically dies from overwork. That's what it was. He died of overwork, and he meets again gods who reincarnate him and give him a unique ability.
Yeah.
And that ability is he's able to tame slimes. Believe it or not, it's actually really good. Let me see if I can pick that name up real quick so I can let everybody know.
And we're back.
Yep. It's called By the Grace of Gods.
By the grace of God. Ooh.
Yes. It is really good. I would recommend it.
You got Shield Hero. The Rise of the Shield Hero. That's a good one.
I haven't actually sat down and watched it yet. I know a lot of people are saying I should.
So our buddy Scotty, he watched it and he told me to watch it because he said it was really good. So apparently, this guy gets reincarnated.
No. So I know the basics of it. Basically, in the world that this adventure takes place, there are kingdoms who will summon the 4 great heroes. The heroes of the sword, hero of the spear, hero of the bow, and hero of the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you come find out later, the king who summons them did a big no-no. So the country they're in is actually a matriarchal, not patriarchal. Basically means it's run by the queen, not the king. Basically, he's considered the king consort. And what was happening was the queen had gone away to negotiate with other kingdoms on who summons what hero. Because each kingdom was supposed to summon a hero. Well, the big no-no is he summoned all 4.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Watch this.
And not only that is the kingdom they're from dislikes the shield hero. The main reason being is 90% of the time, the shield hero is always one who fights for and more protects beastkin,
Okay.
while the other kingdoms, especially the one he was summoned in, think they're nothing but animals. There is even an episode of them selling them as slaves with seals on them to obey their masters. Yeah, the story starts off as nobody likes him. Nobody wants to party with him, except one person who you later find out is actually the eldest princess in disguise. Who I'm going to say trigger. I'm going to say trigger warning, just because of the wording I have to use.
Does he?
She calls rape on him.
Yeah.
She basically gets him drunk and then calls rape on him. And everybody believes her. Nobody's taking his side, not even the other three heroes, who all think they're in video games, because they're all from different worlds that are very in line with each other and everything.
Well then.
Yes, it is probably more for an older age group and everything. While it is an isekai, it is also a fantasy. It is also an adventure. It does have some fan service in it and everything else like that. It looks really interesting. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. There is a lot of anime I want to sit down and watch, folks, but I can't really do it most of the time because I am a father and I have to, well, not have to, but have to watch my son. And with him being of a young age, I can't watch a lot of stuff.
And we were slaves to our jobs. So.
Well, we work second shift, Tommy.
Yeah.
Second shifts have no life.
No, they don't. They don't. It is 100% true. If you have a life on second shift, don't talk to me.
You're basically single. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I also don't have a life.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we mentioned this at the beginning, Tommy, and I'm going to do this now. I'm going to give props to our mics, actually.
Yes.
So before we had started, I know we're going off a little tangent. I had my phone plugged in right next to my mic. My mic was actually picking up my phone charging.
Yeah. So our mics are called Zing Yaos. They're not very expensive mics.
No.
They're not. But the fact that you can pick the electricity going into the phone and add this audible sound.
Hang on, folks. Let's see if we can't do this.
There you go.
That's me touching my charge cord that's unplugged from my phone.
These are great.
They
great
are.
For their price, and they should be more expensive.
Should be. And we are not
We are not
sponsored by
them
or anything, but we are impressed by them. So we were giving a shout out to them. Ours are actually the model ZY-007.
Zing Yao, if you want to sponsor us, send me an email.
We're joking, but we are giving you guys props for your equipment.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Isekai. So another old school one that people probably wouldn't have thought of it. Digimon, at least the first.
Yeah.
Well, no, not all of them, because they all go to the digital world, and all of them.
Mm-hmm. Digimon, or yeah, I didn't watch Digimon as much. I watched Pokemon a little more.
Yeah. Let's see here if I can't think of any of the older ones that I have watched that would be classified as isekai by now. Did he? There's one that I'm thinking of.
No Game, No Life.
No, it's an older one, Tommy. Here we go.
Ooh.
So what I'm thinking of is, excuse me.
Wow. It's such professional, guys.
Yeah. I chugged a Mountain Dew right before all this, so
We will be right back.
yeah. Actually, no, I found it. So
Found it. Look at that.
so no, it's not. It's just the world they're in. But the one I was thinking of was called Fighting Foodons.
Fighting Foodons.
Yeah, Fighting
Like
Foodons.
food.
It is actually.
Oh,
So it's not an isekai, but since Tommy asked about it, basically what it is they're chefs who create basically living food to fight.
You know what? That sounds like a fantasy anime,
I believe it is.
which is another genre
Yes,
we can
yes.
talk about right now.
Really, fantasies though. Fan of the fantasy genre covers so much though, because it can cover,
Yes.
magic, the isekai, um, mythical creatures. Technically speaking, Digimon and Pokemon can be considered fantasy.
I want to call them fantasy. I call them more because it's not like mystical or it's more just.
Well, not Digimon, but Pokemon you could call.
I would consider Pokemon more than Digimon. 'Cause Digimon is more of just a video game that came to real life.
Yeah, so you got a little bit of like magic somewhere in there. So, and really with me, anything that has a hint of magic in it can be considered a fantasy.
Like one of my favorite animes, Fairy Tale. I mean, just like a fairy tale
Yeah,
fantasy.
I haven't sat down and fully and watched it. I've seen bits and pieces. I do like it. It would be a good one, but it is a little bit longer.
It is. So Fairy Tale is like a Naruto or a One Piece, but not as long. I would consider it to be almost as long as Naruto, if not maybe a little longer. But you basically start out. You got this blonde chick,
Lucy.
little girl named Lucy. She is a celestial wizard, which means she's got these things called celestial keys. She can take the key and summon
uh,
a spirit
a spirit.
of the zodiac.
That is actually the most common one. They've actually
Mhm.
stated that, or not the most common one. It is depending on the key, because you got your bronze keys, your silver keys, your gold keys. She's looking for the silver keys, I think it is, which are all it's silver or gold. I can't remember which one. And they're the ones that represent the zodiac.
Yeah.
And another fantasy, which actually ties into Fairy Tale, that not a lot of people know about, is an older anime called Rave Master.
Ooh, really?
Yes, they've. It's done. If I remember correctly, it is done by the same creator. If not, it's the same studio.
What's the name again?
Rave Master.
Rave Master.
Basically, what happens is it follows around a
Yes.
young man called Haru Glory, who gets entrusted a sword, which has the ability to change into 10 different forms depending on certain keys he needs. Known as the raves. And it is actually really good because they did a crossover episode between Fairy Tale and Rave Master.
And Eden Zero is also connected. But
Eden Zero is more into the future,
yeah.
so I don't know if it's like far into the future where it's like a descendant of Natsu and all of them, because they have a very similar cast, and I don't know if they were just taking the characters that everybody loved with Fairy Tale and transporting them into a more futuristic environment.
Well, in one of the episodes of Eden Zero, you see Natsu and Lucy in the background eating in a diner. But if you look at it completely too, basically Eden Zero is, I would consider just almost a retelling of Fairy Tale, just in a different light, maybe in the future.
It could be.
But Rave Master is illustrated by a Hiro Mashima. If I said that name wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, it looks interesting. It's got the little snowman from Fairy Tale.
Yeah,
Blue. Yes.
Blue. Yeah, it's one of the first summons Lucy does in like the first three episodes or something like that.
Yes. Something like that. Yeah. But then you got other wizards. There's a bunch of guilds.
Yeah.
Or I guess you would consider like Hogwarts with the other schools of wizardry.
Nah, not really.
But more of a
because they really don't teach magic.
well, they don't.
So basically, it would be more of a
Base of operations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're different groups who all align with a certain code of conduct.
Yeah, they all do missions to help people to get money, and that's how they sort of live. So you got one. It's called Fairy Tale, which is the guild's name,
Yes.
and it's the most powerful fairy guild in all of.
Well, it actually goes back and forth because there are periods of time where they are no longer classified as powerful,
That is true.
and that is due to circumstances during the series. Uh, one of the big factors of how you classify the strength is the ranking of your guild members.
Yes.
So each mage has a rank from, I think, D class all the way up to S class.
I believe something like similar to that. Yes.
Now, and then rising in rank from D to A is relatively simple.
But A to S is fairly difficult.
Because D to A is classified by the guild master.
But then A to S has its really, so you got a billboard with jobs, D to A. And then you got a whole other floor with CS missions. And that's how different it is.
Well, that's just Fairy Tale. I don't think that's how other guilds are. That's just how Fairy Tale is.
But yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically, and I think it is the guild master who determines A to S.
Makarov.
Yeah, but there is a certain aspects that the council has to determine them as a S-class wizard.
So, a little snippet. There is 3 missions on the S-class billboard for Fairy Tale. One of them is the 100-year quest. And if you know a little bit about Fairy Tale, there should be an anime coming out with the 100-year quest soon, which because they didn't finish it off. That's how the end of the anime was them going to do the 100-year quest. But yeah. And then there's a couple other ones that only a couple of people have ever tried, and they can't do it, because it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Fairy Tale only has, by the end of it, 5 S-class wizards.
You got Guildart. Makarov is master. He's not S-class.
He was still an S-class.
He's S-class, but he doesn't do missions anymore. He's just a guild master.
Well, he's still classed as an S, though.
You got Guildart.
Luxus.
Aloxus. You got Urza, Scarlet. You got Natsu Dragneel.
Oh, he did get S-class?
You got Natsu Dragneel. You got Lucy and Gray are now the 6 S-classes.
What about Ezra's rival? What's her name?
Urza's rival?
Yeah, she's usually the mermaid with the demon soul takeover.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she was Mira Jade.
Mira Jade is also an S-class, but she doesn't fight as much anymore.
No, she helps take care of the guild hall, though.
And she's in Fairy magazine.
Basically, Sports Illustrated.
Fan art or fan service.
Yeah.
In the anime.
Yes. So.
But she was Lucy's.
Not Lucy's.
No, she was Lucy's. Lucy was a big fan of hers at the beginning of the anime.
Yeah.
Then we got a couple other fantasy animes like Goblin Slayer, goblins and swords, knights and stuff.
I think we talked about this a little bit before, and
that was Demon Slayer.
Yeah. But no, the funny thing is with Goblin Slayer, they came out and stated the main character in the world they're in, our main character is not technically one of the heroes that are meant to destroy the Demon King.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I find it funny because he is just concentrating on killing goblins. That is it.
Nice. You gotta get those goblins.
Yes. Like in most fantasies that deal with goblins as bad guys, they are nasty, they are evil, and they need to be put down with extreme prejudice.
Think of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit.
worse, Tommy. You do realize,
I watched it yet. I need to.
yeah, you do. Well, I haven't either, but I've seen a lot and I've read a lot because it's interesting to me.
Right. Goblins are cool. I mean, they may be vile creatures, but they're cool.
In this, they basically kidnap women to reproduce.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So yeah, they get slaughtered.
Is that where hobgoblins come from? No.
No, they're not. That's no, Tommy. In most mythology with the goblins, when they reproduce with other species, it's always a goblin that comes out.
Huh. Orcs can reproduce and become a half orc. I'm thinking D&D, you know.
Yeah, there's not much I know about that, and I really don't want to. And I'm sorry if this upsets anybody about us talking about this.
You want to know more? It's in the comments. I'm kidding.
Yeah, don't. I mean, if you're serious about it, we can do some
an episode.
We can do episode. We can do research on it for you. The episode though, it's going to probably be adult.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that right now
Okay.
because of the content and anything that could be misconstrued and everything else like that.
It'll be a little spicy.
No, Tommy, no.
All right, moving on.
Yes,
Our
move-
next one will
yes.
be Berserk, as a fantasy anime.
Actually, yes. Berserk is a fantasy anime. Our main character, and really, I'll say this: I like the original Berserk. I don't care for the newer ones that are out. One of them is just because of the art style. It just doesn't sit right with me.
I have yet to watch Berserk, but it is on my next list to watch because it's supposed to be really good.
But Tommy, at the exact same time, I don't think you'll like it because it is extremely violent.
Is it gory or is it just violent?
There is gore in it.
Well, a little bit of gore and violence. As long as it's not the entire anime is gore. But, you know, I'll try.
Yeah, we'll leave it for you to decide and everything.
I like suspense. That is what I like. We got another one here called Fruit Basket, which I'm sure Nick knows a little bit more about. That.
Yes, there is actually a older school and a newer school. I haven't sat down and watched the entire anime. I have read outside of maybe 5 or so chapters the entire manga. And basically what it is it centers around a young girl. I can't remember her name for the life of me. But anyways, basically her mother has died. She's basically living out in the wilderness. And there was an accident that
Tohoru.
Tohoru, yes, thank you. Basically caused an avalanche to wipe out the tent she was living in. And due to the fact that it was caused by the Somas, who are some more the main characters, they decided to go, oh, we're sorry, here. Why don't you come stay with us for the time being? During it, she finds out the Soma family is actually cursed.
Bom, bom, bom.
Yes. So in each generation, there is, 13. 13 family members that are born that when giving a hug, believe it or not, just a hug, they are transformed into one of the Chinese zodiac. And as most know, there is actually only 12. But they go off the story of it's of basically the one that was basically invited to a festival that represents for all the zodiac. And I can't fully remember if they were shunned, if they were banished, or what have you. It was the cat. And that is one of the 13 then. And in it, there are 2 main shippings, which is relationships that people want to see for Toru. There is the one with, can't remember his name, Yuki. There we go. His name's Yuki, and he gets transformed into the rat.
If you want to know, my sign is a dragon. Just to put that out there. rats.
You eat rats, Tommy.
Hey, that's all my giant does, damn it.
But anyways, and the second one is Kyo, who is unfortunately cursed with the cat.
Meow.
And where Yuki is a prince and all that, Kyo is more the bad boy, rough around the edges. And in the end, Toru actually breaks the curse and ends up with Kyo. Sorry for spoilers, but it is a fantasy. It is a romance, and I do recommend it for people, especially if you don't want to see like if you're looking for some violence. If you're there is a small sum because Kyo is a fighter, but at the exact same time, it more focuses around the romance than anything else, and it is really good.
Eventually, we will do an episodes on New Age versus Old Age, or
Basically,
manga versus anime, stuff like that. Versus
when Tommy says old age versus new age, he's talking more along the lines of
original versus remake.
Yeah, the originals versus remakes, like how Fruits Basket has a remake just done this. I think it was about 5 years ago. So 2017, I think, is when it came out. It was the remake.
Sounds about right to me.
And usually, most of the time when they do remakes, they're updating the artwork. They might be adding or removing a few things, but
then we'll go on after past Fruit Basket. We got Full Metal Alchemist. This anime is got really good graphics, but it'll make you cry and be pissed off at characters, which is good writing. Also, if you like Alchemist or Alchemy, it's your anime.
And that's going to some alchemy and everything. But really, for Full Metal Alchemist, there are two versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's the original one, released like 2003, 2005, sometime around there, early 2000s. And then there is another one released a while back. I want to say 15 or something like that, 2015. I can't fully remember. Called Brotherhood.
Yep, Full Alchemist Brotherhood.
The main difference between the two series is Brotherhood follows more in line with the manga, while Full Metal Alchemist follows just the story. Hang on, Tommy. Pause.
And we're back.
Yep, sorry about that interruption. I had to go check on my two doggies. My two puppies.
You know. Yeah. So, yeah, there we go.
And if everybody's interested or wanted to know, my doggies are corgis.
He likes the queen.
No, they were a compromise with my wife. She prefers smaller dogs. Me, I like my bigger dogs. And the dog I want is a German Shepherd, but we don't have room where we live. So we got corgis. And we do love our corgis. And enough about me. Let's get back. So we were just talking about Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yes, there is a good difference, but I have to put this out there. If you are a person who gets pissed off at characters' death, it's not anime for you.
Yeah.
If you get pissed off at missing characters,
So I'm going to put this out there for everybody who knows Nina.
oh my god! So I watched Full Metal Alchemist for a little bit with my mother and my brother. The only anime we ever got her to watch, and it pissed us off because they had two characters in there: a little girl and a little dog.
Nina and Alexander.
I'm not going to tell you what happens to them. You have to watch for yourself.
But if you know, you know.
No, if you know, you know, and you know the pain we all felt when we were cussing out the character that did it to them.
Yes. One of the most hated characters in all anime.
What did his name? The doctor.
Tucker something. No, not Tucker.
No idea.
Yeah. Anyways, Full Metal Alchemist is one of those series that does actually have a live action adaptation. It is on Netflix. It has all three parts to it as well.
You got a couple more here. Let's see, wait. Tokyo Ghoul, which I've been told I need to watch.
You may not like it, Tommy.
That's what I figured.
There is a lot of gore, but basically what it is in the world there are humans and there are what's known as ghouls.
Ghouls, human flesh-eating creatures.
Yes.
Among the humans. And we got a college student named Ken Kanaki.
Yes.
Miraculously survives an encounter with one of those creatures.
Not only that is they use organs from the ghoul that would try to eat him, and it turned him into a half ghoul.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. It's awesome.
No, he actually sucks up until the moment he gets captured and tortured. Then he snaps.
I told you, torture works on everybody. Going to hell, but we all know it.
Yes. Funny thing is, I was talking with Tommy the other day, and at work, there's a process where we have to count by threes.
Yes.
And I told Tommy, you know what? One of the most useless things that work has ever done is taught me how to count backwards from 100 by 3.
Uh-huh.
He didn't believe me, and I walked him through it.
100, 97, 94,
91. Yes. He was like that when he was trying to figure it out himself.
Hey. I did figure it out. I actually did it on the way home from work one night. I'm like, you know what?
And the reason I brought that up was because there is a scene, like again, where the main character was tortured, and his torturer was telling him to count back from, I can't remember if it was 100 or if it was 1,000 by 3.
Yes, sir. Let's go. What you want my 3, 6, and a 9? Let's go.
But it is a fairly decent anime. I've seen, again, it's not one I've seen completely through, but I have seen a few episodes. I have seen small snippets on Facebook and everything else like that. It is really good, and I would recommend it to people.
So, if you like more of a darker one, Agami Got Killed, or Akame Got Killed, however you put it.
I know what you're talking about.
Now, I'm not a gore person, but when they deserve it, they deserve it. So this anime starts off with this kid, or this guy from another village outside the main city. He left with 2 of his other companions, and they split up. He wants to become a knight, I believe, in the royal capital. And the royal capital won't let him become a knight. So he's on the street right now, homeless, trying to figure out how to become get a job. And this rich girl picks him up. A little later along, you figure out this rich girl's not what she says to be. And these people called the Agami, I don't know, I remember what the name was. They were assassins. And they end up finding out that the little girl and her family kidnap people to skin them alive and torture them. So they end up killing her. But it's good. That's all I've seen so far. You got Demon Slayer of the Demon Academy here with it.
What are you thinking of, Tommy?
The Demon Slayer from the Demon Academy or whatever it is. Misfit Demon Academy.
Oh, Misfits of Demon Academy.
Yeah, the Misfits of the Demon Academy, which is a really good one, by the way.
It is. I have seen it. It is really good. Are we recording, Tommy?
Yes.
Okay. I saw you touch it, so I wasn't too sure if you paused it.
No.
But anyways, basically what it is the Demon King had sacrificed himself like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
With the help of the hero to seal...
Evil.
No, to seal the demon realm away from the human realm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was reincarnated.
Like 1,000 years later.
He was.
and no one believes who he is.
So with that, I'm going to back up. So when he was reincarnated, he had just been given birth to low class demons, and they're wholesome people. His parents are really wholesome people.
Let me rephrase your statement. He was just born from them, not given birth.
Yeah, born. I'm sorry,
But
anyways,
next point.
yeah, they knew what I was talking about. But anyways, as they were trying to decide his name, he looks at him and goes, "My name is Ainz."
Yes.
Right?
then
That's
he,
not his actual name, but first name that popped into his head. He basically goes, "No, my name is this." They look at him, and instead of freaking out, they go, "Oh my God, he's so precious!"
And so the first episode starts off. Apparently, he appears to be like 16.
Yeah,
He's like 3 days old or something.
No, 3 months old.
He's 3 months old, and he appears to be 16 now. It's crazy. They're over there throwing castles at each other.
They aren't throwing anything at each other, Tommy.
I know. He's throwing castles at everybody else.
So they go to an academy to learn magic.
Yep.
And their history and everything else like that. And that's where he finds out somebody had altered history and changed his name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And everything because he claims he is the Demon King reincarnated.
Yep.
And in one of these exercises, they're supposed to team up, and they're supposed to use their magic to create a base of operations that they can then attack from, defend, what have you. And he's going up against one of the best and brightest.
Mm-hmm.
And
you go put this into like a tier system, basically. So you got your high class, you got your middle class, and you got your peasants. Right now, he's in the peasant class, fighting the high class and kicking their ass.
Well, the thing is, he thinks outside of the box, and he goes, "Okay." He looks at their structure and goes, "That's actually pretty good against magic, and it's a pretty good, solid building." He walks up to it and just grabs it with one hand, rips it out of the foundation, but you didn't account for pure physical strength, and just launches it.
It's awesome.
It is. It is really good.
It's like a season and a half, if not 2 seasons, something like that.
I think it's only 1 season, Tommy.
It might be only 1 season, but it's a really good season.
It is.
Another really good one, which is probably one of my favorite animes, if not the favorite one, Naruto.
I'm sorry, Naruto is good. Don't get me wrong. It's overrated, though.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, it can be. But
I hate to say it, and people are going to hate me for it. I'm sorry, but the market has been oversaturated with Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z. Don't get me wrong, I like them. Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorites. Bleach is one of my favorites. I do like One Piece. I do like Naruto. But they're oversaturating the market with merchandise from them and just them in general. Now they're doing it with Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter.
The new big 3.
All of that. And it gets to the point of, why are you guys doing this? I can understand some, but you guys need to branch out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry for the tangent. Another good fantasy is called Welcome to Demon School, Urumaku-kun. They just released they're just about to release season 3. Basically what it is one of the big 3 demon rulers got sick and tired of his compatriots constantly showing off their kids, their grandkids, all this. So he goes into the human world, which is, big no-no.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, it always is with demons going into the human world. It's always a big no-no. And basically what it is he finds a family of 3. And it's not where it's going where you guys think it is if you haven't seen it. The parents sell their son to the demon because they've used their son pay off their debt and everything else like that. He's just basically a slave to him. And he's freaking out. He's just been told he was just bought by a demon. He's fearing the worst. Well, they get back to the demon world, and he finds out, oh, no, I'm adopting you as my grandson. I'm going to shower you with gifts. I'm going to do everything in my power to make you happy.
I gotta watch this anime. That sounds cool.
It is actually really good.
Screw the parents that sold their kid, but everything else, I.
And it then through happenstance, people are viewing him as the next candidate for Demon King. And the thing is, there is no Demon King right now. The Demon King had passed, and it was just his three main advisors, which is the old man, who is actually the headmaster of the school they go to, is one of them. Because under them, you have your 7 generals or whatever it's called. And as you go through it, you meet some of the main characters. He finds out a way to blend in a little bit more because as a human, he really doesn't have some of the traits that the demons have. There's even an episode where a spell is cast on him to mimic a demon's sin phase.
Interesting.
So basically what it is I don't think that's what it's called, but what it is demons every now and then go through a phase, small windows of time, where their personalities are rearranged because an excess of, I think they said, demon energy or something like that. Something accumulates in them that causes it to happen. So you have our main character who the spell gets cast on that mimics this. He's a shy, young little guy. Becomes confident, suave, everything else like that. And it's like, boom. And he's freaking out and everything because of everything that happens. And everybody goes, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We understand you just went through this. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly natural. We understand. And season 3 has dropped or just about to. I can't fully remember, like I said. But season 2 had left off to where during his phase, he was able to get his class, which is like the outcasts, into the class A. And I don't mean that as a, like, the class A. What I mean is classroom A, where it is the classroom that the original Demon King had studied in. That
All
they
right,
had
all right.
basically sealed off. It even has the Demon King's throne in it. Well, one of his thrones. And it ends, if I remember correctly, it ends with him sitting in it, just going, yeah, this is going to be mine. So it is really good. And I do recommend it to you. There is some fan service in it. Not a lot. But it is, I'm going to say, it is going to be safe for majority all ages.
Speaking of fan service, I got one that's a good fantasy anime.
No.
But
Stop.
no,
I know which one you're talking about, Tommy.
all right. If you can get past the fan service, it's got a good story.
Yes, I will admit it does have a good story.
It is called High School DxD, but this is not an anime for young audiences.
It is not. It is going to be 16 and older.
It's got to be more than that. It got to be 18.
No, 16 is even because 16. For me, Tommy, when I say adult, I mean at least 16. You have your license. You can make
Okay,
choices.
makes sense.
18 is just the legal age you can buy. Not buy a home, but
Nope, can't do anything now at 18.
yeah.
Yeah, change the law. The man has taken too much.
Yeah, we're not going into politics. I'm sorry, we won't.
We won't.
If you guys are going to hit us with anything political, or unless it is a political anime,
Ooh.
because there are some.
Well, I don't think I have that on the. No, I don't have that as a genre.
There is a small
Policy.
niche of it, and it's usually going to be a subclass partnered with another one. It's not going to be the main one.
And you got another one here called Hunter x Hunter, which I would consider fantasy and not fantasy at the same time.
Most time, the anytime they use fantasy, it's something outside the normal.
Mm-hmm.
So there are anime which have just Yep. Going through everyday life. A good example of that is classified as a slice of life anime, which is another genre, is The Way of the House Husband.
Oh yeah, heard of that one.
That is on Netflix. There is another one. I can't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix as well.
We're gonna talk about fantasy though. We gotta talk about the Final Fantasy series.
That's not. They're outside of the movies. The two movies that there are out there. There is not an actual anime. I don't think.
Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, Final Fantasy Unlimited, Final Fantasy VII Last Order. They are 3 different animes.
Those are all movies, though, Tommy.
Whatever. It's an anime, though. It's animated.
Yeah.
It says fantasy in the name. Yeah, whatever.
So, as most people know, the Final Fantasy is actually a game genre. It's a game line. There is now
Too many to name.
16.
Too many to name.
That is just stating there is just 1 through 6. There are side ones like Crystal. There are 2 Final Fantasy X, 3 Final Fantasy 13s, like 4 Final Fantasy 15s. There is more than they're out there than they say in their titles.
They're trying to squeeze as much money out of they can.
Well, don't get me wrong, Tommy.
They're not bad.
I do care for the Final Fantasy. So the 2 main ones I mentioned when Tommy was talking about that was the Final Fantasy movie, which has nothing to do with Final Fantasy, the game, at all. I'm not too sure if Tommy's ever seen it or not.
Maybe. The one that had nothing to do with the game or movies at all.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a girl. This lady comes back out from space and do like ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a fan. I love that movie. I do.
It is actually really good. Then there's Final Fantasy VII. I'm trying to remember. Advent Child, which is basically a continuation of the game and everything, which is really good.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Yes, we are. I was just talking about the Final Fantasy Advent Child and everything, which is a continuation of the Final Fantasy VII video game.
Another good one is Black Clover.
I haven't seen that.
So, Black Clover is a world of magic. Every single person in the anime except one person has magic. You're born with it. If you don't have magic, it has never been heard of for someone to not have magic. So, the main character, Asta, has 0 magic. Can't use magic at all. Can't even fly on a broom. Everyone in the anime gets
Racist?
No.
I'm sorry, guys. Tommy didn't get the joke.
Fly on a broom?
Witches. That's overly racist to assume.
Everybody in the anime flies on brooms, damn it. They do. That's how they get around. Unless they have a teleporter. Magic. So, Asa can't fly without his grimoire. A grimoire is a book of magic spells that every character in the anime gets at 16. They also, Asa and his rival, Zuno, go off to become Magic Knights. Asa gets his grimoire very last minute. And so what it is they got these, so they're in the Clover Kingdom. So their grimoires have different leaves on them. You got 1 for luck, 2 for hope, 1 for hope, 2 for I don't remember. 3 is luck. I know that. 4-leaf clover is like the best one you can get, and the 5-leaf clover means a devil. I think Nick's looking it up real quick. But Asta has anti-magic. And if you like magic, this is an anime to see. Because there is so many different kinds of magic. You got teleportation magic, you got earth magic, you got rock magic, you got air magic, you got You got just dark magic. It's good shit. It's good shit. But yeah, that's fantasy. What else you got, Nick? Got anything else?
No, I think for right now that's all we have.
Alrighty. Well, then that'll be about all the time we got for today. And as always, this is TNT. Y'all have a good day.
Yep, this is Nick and Tommy signing off. See you guys.